The dog's favourite object is his, if it can find it. Finally, we must have the stimulating game. The dog meets a new environment during a walk through the city, which is held at the end of the foundational exercises. This serves to prepare the dog for the next chapter of its training. The students learn about the most commonly used drugs, their origins, as well as their means of production, their trafficking routes, main modes of distribution, and also what can be taught about their smell. Cannabis, hashish, and hashish resin are prepared from marijuana plants. THC is a necessary chemical component of the drugs if they are to be consumed. The leaf of the cocoa plant of South America is the source for cocaine. The base for opium and its derivatives is the husk of the poppy head. Amphetamine and its derivatives, as well as LSD and the effective compounds of medicinal drugs, belong to the family of synthetic drugs. The instruments of their production are to be found in a chemical laboratory. Besides knowing all about these drugs, the students must also be acquainted with the use of sets of instruments that can detect drugs by discoloration before laboratory tests are conducted. Products containing narcotics can be discovered with them. The teacher is testing a white powder which discolors to show that it is cocaine. The teacher demonstrates the preparation of a drug for the training. He wraps the specified amount of hashish in a double layer of polythene packaging and, rolling it up, places it in a hard plastic tube. The dog can then bite on this without piercing it. He could, of course, put it in a hard metal object as well. The trainees get acquainted with the bag which holds the narcotics used in the training exercises, as well as the use of the airtight glass containers necessary for storing the drugs. In the next phase of the training, the dogs are introduced to the smells of the various narcotics. This takes place in the course of the so-called school exercises, which are carefully graded and systematically repeated. Some equipment is also used to make the learning process easier. In the following sequence, we show the type and amount of the hidden narcotic, the time difference which elapses from when the substance was hidden and when the search commences, as well as the recommended number of times that the dog should repeat the task. The dog gets acquainted with specific narcotics hidden inside a brick which is placed under gravel. At first, the play object is hidden within it. The brick and gravel helps to form the right indication. The aim of the group activity is to intensify the dog's desire to secure the object, thereby teaching it to scratch more intensively. The task becomes increasingly difficult to solve. The training tools are positioned in sparsely furnished rooms. The greatest accuracy in the dog's indication can be achieved with the help of this training tool, a specially designed cupboard. When the dog finds the drugs, the ball is released from the cupboard by remote control. The dog only gets the play object from the cupboard after vigorous scratching. The little picture is a reminder of the winding down exercises. When the dog is going to be taught the scent of a new batch of narcotics, it's a good idea to intensify its hunting instincts with a little group search beforehand. The brick does not feel too good for a dog, and so it prefers not to give indication on it. In the case of weaker dogs, too much exercise may make the indication less confident. Whenever the scent of a new narcotic is introduced, a repetition of what already has been learnt is necessary for reinforcement. Here the dog is searching for the play object which has been treated with the scent of a narcotic. In bus search exercises, the dog has to learn to work both on and off the leash. Protection work is a kind of relaxation for the German Shepherd. This makes a break from the tedium of search work and allows the dog to let its instincts loose. One of the foundational exercises training the dog to search baggage involves soothing the dog's destructive urges. The new, more difficult search venue invites the dog to search more precisely. The dog becomes more confident when searching in a room it already knows. The systematic training in the school has to be alternated with repeated, refreshing walks in the city. This also prepares the ground for situational exercises. In this exercise, a number of balls have been placed in the special cupboards, but only one of them has been treated with the scent of the narcotic. The dog therefore has to react to the scent of the drug rather than the smell of the human being or the ball. When the dog indicates intensively, the instructor or handler pulls the arm on the cupboard, which lets out the play object to the dog. In this case, it's a ball. It is a matter of routine for the dog to check hiding places above the height of its body with the active help of its trainer. Skill, self-reliance and speed are indispensable in the work of a sniffer dog. These qualities are supported by the exercises conducted on the training field. After getting to recognize a new drug, a reward is always given to the dog by his instructor. Simple props may be used fruitfully in the training, often with a little alteration. The dog's work is helped along by the instructor, who shows him how to search systematically with his gestures. A sample of the narcotic and the reward are placed together in a rubbish bin. Depending on how strong the dog's drive is, we can choose from among play objects made of various materials to use in the exercises. The dog learns to investigate the exterior of the car on a leash. This ties the dog's freedom of movement, so that it searches the places that are difficult to get near more meticulously and with a greater sense of direction. It is important to keep the development of the dog continuously under surveillance. When the dog recognizes the scent of the drug without an order coming from its handler and is eager to search and indicate a find, we can say that the training has been successful. The dog is taught how to examine baggages in its natural environment, but free of the usual distractions. During this search, the dog is kept on the leash. The dog is only turned loose in the training after it has achieved a level of concentration, motivation and controllability. The dog has to search each bag meticulously, even now that it is off the leash. It is advisable to continue to keep a dog with a greater destructive urge on the leash. In one room, the dog is made to practice finding a number of different drugs. The scent of a new drug is introduced while the place and tools used remain the same.